Okay, so different than when we do rolling 5 or 10 minutes in class. In that case, we tend to, use the roller as a roller and then move on to the next area. In physical therapy for rolling, you use the roller rolling out the tissue, and then you get to a place where you feel like, that's that spot. And you go right above it or right below it, and you stay there. So we're going to do some rolling and then some static hold also in those spaces. It's really interesting, the stuff about rolling, because um, I've told you guys before, it releases the myofascia, which is like that sheath-like coating on the outside of your muscle. So you have muscle fibers, but they can't properly stretch if you can't kind of get to them to release. But it also gives you all the benefit, honestly, that you get from a deep tissue massage, which is really good for improving circulation and detoxifying and, reducing injury and right, bringing more blood flow to your muscles because of the intensity of the roller. So while it is intense, it's, if you've ever had a massage and it's intense, it feels great at the end. So we'll think about that. But I'm going to start us by having us actually come take your pillow or your blanket, and we're going to go down on our belly. All right, so it's kind of like you're just getting ready here. Good. Go ahead and take your forehead all the way to the floor. Little area to support your head, and let your feet just fall apart to the sides. Good. Now the reason that we're here is to address any lower back tension before we start twisting ourselves up doing the rolling. Turn your arms forward. Christy and Lauren are doing rolling in the pitch black dark. Okay, that's exciting. It's like a haunted house rolling. All right, I'm in Sphinx pose now. But I've got this pillow up underneath me, so really no tension in your lower back at all. Relax your feet. If you find you're squeezing through your glutes, relax your glutes. And the whole purpose of this is that you have sciatica pain that radiates from the lower back and can go down into your legs through those nerves. So you're releasing that bundle in the back, right? And then we're just going to gently and controlled lower all the way back down to the floor. Now bring your hands more alongside the edge of the pillow, underneath your shoulders, like you're going to do pressing up for upward dog, and just press your chest up. Now you guys are interesting because most of you do yoga regularly, so you probably have the ability to press up to upward dog and then lower back down. So I didn't know this, but I learned today when I was doing some research, and just go ahead and do that up and down a few times. This is actually called the McKenzie method for treating low back pain. And I thought, well, how about that? We do that in yoga over and over again. Pull your shoulders away from your ears, press up, and you're looking for that rounding through your back, and the pillow is supporting your pelvis. Normally, we don't have that pillow or blanket supporting our pelvis, right? So we get a gap there, but in this case, you're supporting that so that you can find that curve through your low back. And doing this about 10 times, there's been in 38 countries research on this simple movement to relieve herniated disc back pain. And apparently it's very effective for people who have that back pain. So I thought I would get us warmed up for that low back. Who has low back pain? Wendy, you've got a little bit of back pain, don't you? Yeah. Anybody else have any back pain? Yeah. Eduardo, you have a little back pain? Let's do a couple more of these with your breath. Big inhale, lift up. If you find your shoulders are getting tired, just try to be soft with your upper body, because this is just about finding that lift through your chest. You can take a little rest when you get back down to the mat. All right, let's do one more. Good, lower all the way back down. All right, come back up onto your hands and knees. And when we do pigeon later, you might appreciate having that pillow, but you can set it to the side for now. And we're gonna move on to our roller. Let's do one down dog just to stretch out our back and the backs of your legs. So from your tabletop position, lift your knees, push your hips up towards the sky, walk your feet in a little bit so you can try to drop your heels towards the floor tonight. Let your head hang. And I invite you to think of this. We don't have the time when we're doing our yoga practice because we're moving, and I love the movement part of it. But tonight we have time to take a good 5 to 8 breaths once we get ourselves assembled. So as I've been talking, I hope you've been breathing. In and out through your nose if you can. Soften your jaw. Let's take 1 or 2 more breaths together. And then gently lift your heels, drop your knees back down to the mat. All right, let's find our roller. Ready? Okay, so Eduardo's got the nubby roller. I'm going to use the hard roller. Mine's not too long. Some of you have, like Wendy's is about 4 times this long. So she could, that's the size of your husband, Wendy. Okay, so we're going to do our calves first. Those of you that have rolled before know that this IT band is the juiciest part, so we're gonna work our way up to that, right, Nicole? So that we don't
not gonna do it, is what you said, right?
And hang up. Okay. So look, so I was trying to find a way we wouldn't have to lift our butt, but it's really most effective if your arms are not too tired. I've got both legs bent. You can't really see this one, but foot on the floor. We're gonna push our arms straight, lift the butt, and just roll through the calf. Let's keep your toes straight up towards the ceiling to start. So see, this way, I'm using the leverage of my arms, hips up off the floor. That looks good, Chris. Christy and Lauren, you guys need like little headlamps. So, see you.
It's not as dark here as you think it is.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually think it's lovely to be in a dark space. All right, so we're rolling a little bit. Take a rest with your arms if you need to. You're going to turn your foot out. So external rotation is turning your knee and your foot out. All right, I'm on my left leg, so I'm going to turn it to the left. If you're on your right leg, turn it to the right. And then do the same thing again, but now you're getting the outer edge of that leg. Not too bad. Now, gravity is your friend with rolling. So don't hold back on the pressure. Think of that deep tissue massage. Eduardo's making some faces, so he really like this part. Honey, if you think this is bad, just wait. All right, let's drop our hips. Okay, inside now. So now internally rotate your leg. So this is my left leg. I'm going to turn it to the right. Turn your knee to the right. All right, and now we're just getting that inner part. So inner ankle, inner shin. Faces, huh? My arms are tired from boot camp, I think. Still, that was a couple days ago, actually. Maybe it was yesterday's class. Nicole, are your arms tired?
Yes, I was just wondering why my arms hurt.
My arms are tired. I think we did a few chaturangas. All right, let's switch legs. Okay, so now opposite leg, same thing. Let's work through those calves. Let's take about 5 breaths as you have your toes straight up. Now here's the thing. You try to find that owie spot, right? And then stop for a second. And just like you're holding pressure on that spot, just see if you can hold and then resume your rolling again. If you don't have a tender spot, maybe you don't need to stop rolling. You can just think of this as releasing the tension that you have through the myofascia. Take another breath here. All right, lower hips. Let's externally rotate that leg. So right leg is toes out to the right, left foot toes out to the left, and roll the outer edge of your calf. Oh. Take a couple breaths as you're here. This is not just about your leg, but about finding some space for yourself also. All right, drop your hips. Let's rotate the leg internally rotating now. So bringing, if you're on your left foot, bringing it in. All right. I know, I'm with you, Nicole. Those arms, right? Like, how am I going to do this when I can't hold myself up? Ah. And again, I'm using gravity. So try to press down a little bit into that space here. Lauren, with all the running you do, this is going to be so good for you. And your mom gave you the good roller, so
Yes.
make the most of it here, all right?
Thankful for that.
All right. Okay, so let's move up to our hamstrings. All right, now as we move into these bigger muscles, this is especially the one where we're going to roll. We have a shorter space, and then we're going to find the juicy spot and sink in, okay? So you're going to need to know where that is. All right, more tricep work. Here we go, holding ourselves up. I've got my left leg on the roller. Put your right foot on the floor, or if you're opposite, that's fine. And we're going to just work out the hamstring. Now we're going to do butt separately. So just let this be that spot from back of your knee up to kind of underneath your little butt cheek right there. And if you find a spot that's tender, or maybe if not, just slow down, use pressure. All right. Kind of think like you were pressing bubbles, right? Out of a bag. Just go nice and slow there. Listen, Wendy, you have such a big roller. You could actually do both legs at the same time for the whole time if you wanted to. There you go. As long as that doesn't go rolling away from you. Let's switch legs. So getting that roller underneath the other hamstring. Anybody find this to be extremely tender? It's okay for me. I think I get tighter in my quads. Eduardo's making some faces. It's good? All right. Juicy? I'm interested from my... Eduardo says some people who are active do this twice a day. Well, good for them. That'd be great, right? We should all have that goal. Okay, if you haven't held your spot, go slow, press those bubbles out. Use gravity, press it slow. Our arm workout is almost over, don't worry. Okay, one of my favorites. Let's sit on it. Let's get it underneath one butt cheek. Your choice. Okay, so get up on the roller. One leg bent, and we're gonna roll all the way up the whole part of your back butt, and then back to the part where you kind of feel you roll over your pelvis and get into that fleshy part at the top of your hamstring. So all the way. You can kind of feel it roll over your sitting bone. So when we say in yoga, move your stuff out of the way, get on your sitting bones, you could feel that pointy part of the back of your pelvis. You get into the meat there, right? That meaty part, and then just stay put. All right, so this is one where we got to hold in a static place. So find a spot. So here's a good lesson about how your glutes connect and can be related to pain that you have in the back of your legs, your knees, or in your back. And so releasing the glutes can help release low back pain. Likewise, releasing the quads or the calves can help release hip pain. It's all connected. All right, how's everybody doing? Good, no screaming yet. All right, the good stuff is coming. Let's switch seats, okay? Bring ourselves around on the other side. Anybody not feeling this get a little bit juicy? So look, the leg that is rolling, that side is straight. The other knee is bent. Who knows how many, and Eduardo, you don't get to answer this question. Who knows how many gluteus muscles you have?
3.
Good job, Christy. Do you know what they are?
Medius, maximus, and minimus.
Yes, ma'am. So the one that gets big, the big butt trend right now, that's your maximus. But the ones that actually hold you up for walking and keep your legs attached to your body, that's the minimus. Okay, a couple more. Find your spot, hold. Let gravity do some work here. Get down in that juicy part of your butt. Oh, we need those muscles, right? Okay, start to make your way off of here. Okay, quadratus lumborum is right here. It's your flank steak, right? So put your hands on your waist, feel that part right here on your back. Okay, you know how you go like this, right? That feels good when you're getting a massage right there. So that's what we're trying to address. So we're going to lay on it like you're laying on your waist, but you can't just lay down. We're trying to kind of angle 3/4 to get to that spot right there. All right. So look, I'm here on the roller on my waist, and then kind of angling my chest up towards the ceiling just a little bit. We start to increase the intensity now, guys. So hang on. Yeah. Christy, with that little tiny rolling pin, I don't know how you're going to do that. So, good luck, girl. Okay, now we got the groaning happening, right? Nicole, how are you doing? You feel that? Intensity, yeah. All right, so you learned a new muscle. All right, so some gentle movement here, just rolling back and forth. Go slow if you can. Laughing or crying? You're just.
I'm laughing so I don't cry.
Okay.
I'm laughing at the noises she's making.
Oh. Ay.
I'm like whimpering.
Okay. Okay, one more second here. Breathe in. Good. Release from that. Before we do the other side, this one feels pretty good. This is for your shoulders. So one thing that you should not do, and some of the foam rolling videos tell you to do this, they tell you to lay down on the foam roller like this and do your low back. From a back health perspective, you should not do that because you're compressing all those little bony apertures in your spine and in your vertebrae. So let's not do that. But mid back is supported by your ribs. So that's okay. So put your roller mid back. So not in this tender part of your back, mid back. Think of where your rib cage is and go around. Okay, support your neck with your hands. Put your feet on the floor like you're doing bridge. And now you can roll back and forth from mid back, and you might even be able to walk yourself forward, get all the way up into your shoulders. All right, so if you're not sure, look at me. So never going past the bottom of the rib cage. Christy, I think you should go to Target tomorrow. Pick yourself up a second roller if Lauren's going to hijack yours for these future classes.
Well, it's fine. Truth be told, it is hers.
Oh. Okay, so that feels nice, right? And so just think about that if you're ever doing some of this rolling yourself. Look at how you're spreading your chest here. So as this goes across your shoulder blades, really good for combating that hunched over posture from working at the computer, which we're all doing all day, but not going past the rib cage so you're never compromising by putting all this pressure on your spine. And if you'd like, you can even drop your head back a little bit, but keep your neck supported. Get up into those upper shoulders a little bit. I think this feels nice. Do you guys like this one? All right, let's slowly lower your hips to the floor and swing around. Let's do the opposite. Quadratus lumborum. So that's getting into this waist. So the roller is, what is this? Horizontal. Use your forearm on the floor. Lift your hips. Whenever you're rolling, I find it helpful to brace by taking the opposite leg in front sometimes. That way, you're not having to work super hard to get your hips up off the floor. Now, if you're looking down, okay, that's the way you angle your body when we do that IT band. But for this, I want you to look up, right? Because, that's where we're trying to get is that part of your back, right? So I'm looking, see how I'm dropping my shoulder back. Ay, ay, ay. Wendy, how you Wendy, how are you doing? Ay, ay, ay.
I'm tight.
You're tight. Yeah, I know you had some back pain, so I was just wondering how this felt for you.
We call this class in the future groans and giggles.
Groans and giggles. Eduardo says this is how we should do some marketing. I like that. You'll roll till you cry. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. All right, let's go slow. Whew, that's intense. Just a couple breaths here. Just find a spot. Hold it. Use your breath like you're helping to expand. Release some tension there. Okay, good. Gently come up. All right. Okay, friends, let's move into the juicy parts of our legs. Okay? Okay. Shall we do the quads or the IT band first?
Quads.
Quads. Okie doke. All right, quads are fun. So half frog with one leg. So then for me, I'm going to start with my right leg using the roller. So half frog with the left leg. So look, this rolling leg goes straight, half frog with the other leg. This is what half frog looks like. Ay, ay, ay. Half frog with this leg. Now I've got the roller right under between the space from knee, and if you're on your forearms, you can leverage yourself, all right? Half frog with one leg straight and lift it on the other leg, and you can roll all the way. Now here, use gravity, but slow down. So imagine here that you had to really press something out. Try to square your hips. If you can get the roller, you have a choice. You could take it in this full range of motion all the way from above your knee, right till you kind of hit your hip flexor, or you could work in sections, but we're just on that front of your leg. This is a big muscle, right? For those of you that cook, I think you can learn a lot in anatomy by animals. So if you had a chicken leg, there's the skin and the fat, but then there's like a sheath as you're looking at that leg before you get to the meat, and that is that myofascia. So pause, find a juicy spot, stay real still. I know Eduardo was half kidding that some people do this twice a day, but really, I guess it's so beneficial, so much more than just stretching. You really are supposed to do some rolling. Anytime that you feel any kind of pain, back pain, leg pain, any kind of soreness, you're supposed to roll. And the reason that you roll also after you've done some exercise is to prevent delayed onset muscle soreness, which is called DOMS, which is like the next day when you go, ow, right? So rolling helps release that tension, rejuvenate the blood flow, helps your muscles recover quicker. All right, friends, let's get into the hip flexor. So just take your body back, but keep the roller where it is. Now I've got that roller on the one leg, so it's still on my right leg, the straight leg right in the groin. All right, so up really high. And you can edge it over. Christy, in this case, your little ball on the stick is actually going to work really well because you can target that area. So your hip flexor is right at your hip crease, at your groin, at your leg crease. Move the roller right in there. This is what helps you lift up your leg. For those of you that run, that hip flexor muscle can be very tight and because it's so strong. And for those of us that sit a lot in a 90-degree position, it can be short because we're not lengthening it out. Think about that. Like when you stand up, that would lengthen out. All right, nobody's crying on this. This is pretty good, right? Okay, you're gonna like this, friends. So let's come off that, but you're not switching legs just yet. Look at me. I've got the half frog leg and I'm going to the other leg, the half frog leg, inner thigh starts to roll on the roller. So I've got the roller now long ways. I was on my right leg. I'm gonna move it over to my left leg, start rolling out the inner thigh. So the half frog leg is going back and forth this way. Good. Nicole, I can't tell, but make sure you have your roller long ways. So
Yeah.
it's perpendicular. Okay. All right, both forearms on the floor are going to help you. And you can give yourself a little bit of extra inner thigh work. Get that all the way into that real sensitive part. I think the higher up your leg, the more tender it gets. My back does feel looser. All right, find the spot that's tender and intense for you. Soften here. You can even try to lower your body towards the floor. All right, getting a little bit more intensity as you let your leg rest on that roller. Okay, friends, one more breath and we'll come off of that side. Let's finish the right leg and do the IT band. So we're not quite switching yet. All right, so right forearm is going to the floor. Okay, your right leg needs to be straight. The roller is not on the bony part of your hip. It's on this track stripe you have on that outside, the seam on the outside of your pants. Look, Nicole has a track stripe. Just, Nicole, you keep that roller on that track stripe.
I don't wanna.
Oh, okay, this is the good one. Now look, with your left foot braced in front of you so that you can have leverage, dropping your chest more towards the floor. And then roll, all right? There's a tendency to not want to roll because it's very intense. Yes? Yeah, I hear you. Okay, but we're gonna roll. Okay, and again with this one, I want you to
I'd rather
find.
do burpees.
Burpees are next tomorrow. Oh, okay, so find the spot. Breathe. Oh, this is your IT band. Oh my gosh. Okay, if you've been hanging out just in one area, try to go to the other section. So maybe you need to get more lower mid-thigh to knee. Whew. This is the intense. I think this is most intense, don't you guys? Yeah. It's very hard to stretch this area. So really rolling is one of the only ways you can release your IT band. It's just, we try with pyramid pose to stretch the back of the leg and the IT band. We try with triangle pose, we try with revolve triangle, but really that's not nothing like this. Okay, Nicole, you gave up.
I did. Yep. Totally
All
quit.
right, I'm with you. Okay, let's do the other leg. So that was very fun. Good job, right leg, left quad. Okay, so here we go. Half frog with the right leg, left leg is going straight. We're angling our body right down towards the mat. On your forearms. Give yourself space so you can grow slowly. Use gravity, go through the whole muscle on the front of your leg. From your knee, pressure, pressure, pressure all the way up. If you're holding your breath, you're probably not helping your effort of releasing tension, so good time to try to breathe. Don't get up into your hip flexor yet. We'll do that separately. So just use that space from your upper knee. So some people have knee pain. It's actually because your quads are tight. I know that's true both in people who are very active. If you have knee pain when you're running, it can be because your quads are very tight. And also in people who are just sitting a lot, and then as they are just doing light activity, they have a lot of knee pain. Can be because of your quads, so roll that out. Find a juicy spot, stay still. Woo. All right, we're going to work that roller up into the hip flexor. So dropping your body back, but putting the roller, you might scooch it over if you need to. So especially if you have a really big roller, all the way over into that left hip flexor. Yeah, Wendy's making faces at me. You like that, Wendy, huh? How are you doing, Chris? You okay?
This is more painful than I thought.
There
So
you
much
go.
more painful.
Okay. It's all good. I made a really good soup for dinner. We're gonna have it after class. I roasted some vegetables on the grill, peppers and onions and tomatoes. I just like threw them on the grill with some olive oil and then put them in the blender with some sauteed garlic and chicken stock and cashews because that makes it creamy. Tastes so yummy. Excited to have that for dinner. See, it distracted you. You up in your hip flexor, stay still, press into that spot. Okay, before we do the IT band, let's do the opposite inner thigh. So turning the roller now long ways. I've got half frog on my right leg. Ay, ay, ay. So that I can roll in and out. Got black pants, black roller. Next time I should wear pink pants or get a pink roller. Huh? All right, just realized that. Okay, so we've got that roller all the way to the inner thigh. Okay, I think I found my juicy spot. Whew. Oh. So let's find the place where you have intensity. You don't have to go right on it. You could go right above or below it. Okay, so think of a globalized area, not just a target area, but find that area and then put some pressure down. You might even here lower your chest to the floor. It's like you're keeping that half frog leg with your right, pressing your knee down, finding that spot. Okay, one more breath. All right. Final thing on the leg is this left IT band. Here we go. Track stripe.
Man.
This is the big one. Okay, get it beneath your hip. Drop your left forearm to the floor. Straight left leg. Put your right foot in front of you. Angle your chest towards the floor. And start to roll along that seam, that track stripe you have on the outside of your body. There's your IT band, so if you weren't sure, that's it. Yeah. Honey, what's ischio? It's ischiotibial, right?
Yeah.
See, I remember that from my medical days. Okay, friends, by now you should have kind of identified your global area where you have the most tension. I'd like you to go there. Try to relax your face, stay. Use that pressure of your gravity, stay on that spot. This is your deep tissue massage. Releasing the tension through pressure. You're helping the recovery of your muscles. You're helping them to be ready to be able to be stretched. Okay, make your way off that roller. Oh my goodness. Okay, friends, we're just going to take a couple minutes and do a couple stretches, but we're otherwise done with the roller with the exception of one thing. Christy taught me this. I really appreciated it, which was to roll your feet. So you can keep kneeling and roll your feet, or you can stand up and roll your feet. So I'll pass on the information Christy told me from her friend, right, Christy, that your feet have a lot of little bones. Bardo's using a little ball, like a little, he has a whole kit, but like a little lacrosse ball. Oh, this is a very little, very hard ball. Racquetball, works, right? All right, let's switch feet. Just working out your arch, thinking of letting all those little bones in your feet find some resetting. Yeah, so if you do have a ball around and you take some time, Nicole, you got a ball there. Just stand up, roll that ball underneath your bare feet.
Now that I think about it, this would be good on days we're doing a lot of balance for in between.
No, that's
a
true.
problem for me is I have flat feet, and so I have a lot of pain in my feet.
And is it worse when you stand on one leg, like in the balance poses?
It's awful.
Oh, you should keep your ball nearby then, Nicole. That's a really good idea. All right, friends, come off of your ball, your roller. We're going to go just through our hip opening sequence. I'm going to keep my pillow handy to drop underneath my right hip. So if you want to grab that, come to your hands and knees, and let's meet me in your downward facing dog, just to stretch out the backs of your legs here. Stretch out your shoulders. Start with lizard on the right leg. So right leg up towards the sky. Take a second, drop your left heel, open through your right hip. Then you're gonna take your right foot to the outside of your right hand, to the pinky toe part, to the pinky finger part, and then drop your left knee. So I've really got my right knee forward, tracking knee right over ankle, not here. All right, so if you're here, you need to take your right foot forward. And now this is your lizard pose. Some of you might like to use your props. You could use a block. You could even use your foam roller, honestly. Drop your elbows and maybe your head to the floor. You can play with what it feels like to roll over the right foot onto the pinky toe edge of that foot. Does that help you open any tension you might have through the bent knee? You can feel that connective tissue on the back of your knee and the back of your right leg trying to release. All right, take a deep breath in. Okay, and we're going to make our way to pigeon. So taking this right foot across the mat. Right foot is now to where your left wrist was, right knee to right wrist. Find your length and then support your right hip gap between your right butt cheek and the floor with your pillow, your block, if you'd like, and then slide your body forward. So. Sometimes I notice that I'm like holding a lot of tension in my foot. Or if you're sickling your back foot, like you're pointing it in, straighten out your back foot. So pick that leg up, straighten out your back foot. Try to create more of a flexion of your right foot. You'll notice that by doing that, even if you give yourself a little assist, it's magical. It triggers into the whole back of your right leg. This is a great place to take some big, deep breaths. All right, let's gently lift your chest. Move whatever support you have underneath your right hip. We're going to double pigeon. So drop your right hip to the floor, bring your left leg around, and bring your left ankle to guide it over on top of your right thigh. So not in the crease, so we're not just sitting easy, we're bringing it way over. All right, so this is also called fire log pose because your two shins are stacked like logs. Good. Now, some of you who are the runners in the family are going to have this leg maybe jacked up to here. That's okay. You could even put a block right here to help you with that space or use your foam roller. Some of you have open hips and you're good. If you're good, you can go forward with a flat back. Flat back, please, though. So it's not about rounding, trying to kiss your inner shin. It's like you're leading, right, to lay your belly over your legs. Can you use your breath? So you inhale, it's just the tiniest bit of pulling back. Exhale, drop in. Oh, yay. We're all going to be like noodles at the end, right? We'll just roll our way to the next activity. Huh? All right, if you're leaning forward, sit back up. Maybe you found you got to release a little bit of tension in that leg. Last thing, let's just take a twist. Your left foot is already on top. Bring it all the way over your right knee so it comes to the floor. Square your hips up a little bit, shoulders back, and then take your twist to the left. Use your right elbow to help you anchor on the outside of your left knee. If that's too much, you can just hang on to your knee with your hand. Be careful if you have had like some back spasms, all right? And don't go too far. You can do a lot by just pulling your left shoulder back to help you twist more at the waist. Who can remember what this flank muscle was called? Got to know your own body parts, y'all, right? Starts with a Q. Take a guess, somebody, take a guess. No takers. Quadratus lumborum. See?
Sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
There you go, right? You know, J.K. Reynolds probably just looked in an anatomy book and was like, that sounds like a good spell. All right, all Latin anyways. Come to your hands and knees. Let's do the other side, and then we're done, friends. Downward facing dog. Release your back by softening your shoulders, dropping your chest towards your thighs, bending your knees a little bit. Let your left leg drift up towards the sky. Press your right heel down, open through that hip, that knee. When you're ready, take your left foot, take it to the outer edge of your mat, way up. We're going to lizard on the left. Slide your right knee back. Let yourself be split in two tonight. You're just here, you can breathe. This may be the only time you have this week to just be still and let your body be stretched. So take advantage of that opportunity to not be tense. You know, think of glass versus rubber, right? You drop it, it breaks. You drop it, it bounces. So we don't want to be in the breaking place, right? By being tense all week. All right, dropping your elbows to the floor or to your pillow or your prop, your block, your roller. Let's get a little deeper here. If you've got interest, you can also put your left hand on the inner left thigh and gently push the leg away. Okay, let's make our way to pigeon. So lifting your chest, walk your foot over to the right edge of your mat so that you can mindfully drop your knee, trying to keep that shin aligned. Now your heel's going to scoot in a bit, but that's your intention, is to drop your knee right to the place where your left wrist was and find some alignment with your hips. Slide your right foot back. And again, just like when we were folding forward before, it's not a rounding to the floor. It should be a little difficult to get to the floor. Telescope through your neck and back and try to lower down. Good, Wendy. Notice the difference that makes also if you flex your left foot a bit. Lengthen through your right toes. Is there any space for you to lengthen your right leg just a little bit more? If you have a tendency to try to collapse your left hip onto the mat, we don't want that. So you can remind yourself to keep it lifted by putting a little prop there. Your blanket, your pillow, a block. To me, pigeon is kind of like going into your little cave. Go into your little hobbit hole. Take a couple deep breaths here. All right, deep inhale, deep exhale. All right, gently make your way out of this, but not changing completely, just lifting your chest, feel some length through your spine, then gently remove your prop from your left hip, drop your left hip to the floor, keep your left knee bent, slide your right leg around, bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. So if you think of this, it's called a fire log pose. Think of stacking, right? We're finding a stack here. Yeah. Right. There we go. Now, some of you, if you don't find that you have too much happening here, you can really flex this foot, bring your ankle bone over even more. Chris, you might have a little bit more space. There you go. All right. And now getting your shoulders down and back, really long spine, telescope with your neck as you fold forward. You're going to feel that release through your low back here, right? So you're not, as well as through this right leg, particularly if you can keep your spine nice and flat. It's really not about how far you go. It's just going to the place where you have uh, feeling. Just like when we were rolling, we found that global place that we wanted to stay and focus, just be there. Take a couple breaths. Okay, we're all stretched out almost. Let's bring our bodies back up. Take your right foot to the floor. Use your left hand to help guide your right leg and twist to the right. Again, you have options here. You might have the room to take your left elbow over to the outside of your right knee, really deeper twist through your upper ribs, or just use your hand. And this is your release, so you don't have to just kind of go to a place and stop. You can explore. Should be a little bit more limber by now. And maybe identified some areas where you had some tension. It's what's amazing is if you've ever had an injury and it feels so intense at the time, and then your body heals itself. I mean, just think about how remarkable that is. So it's our job to put good fuel into our body, take time to pay attention, be mindful, and move. Listen to those injuries. Listen to the feedback that your body gives you. Okay, good. Come back around right here. All right. Uncross your legs. Let's take one forward fold, sliding your legs forward, reaching for your feet, dropping your chest, shoulders down and back. Keep your chin lifted so that you have more of a tendency to have a flat back as opposed to rounding through your neck. If your legs don't extend straight, put that pillow or something up underneath right here. Good. If there is something that you're still holding on to that's giving you pain and it's causing you to feel stressed out, that can manifest in your body. So start seeing if you can make some decisions to let that go. Give your body some space. You guys did a world of good for your muscles and your joints tonight. Release yourself from your forward fold. Maybe move your things out of the way. Set yourself up for your final rest. If you want to put your legs up the wall, or you've got the pillow and you want to put your hips here to elevate, or just you want a little support maybe through your shoulders, that could be nice. Those of you that are in the dark, I'll see you tomorrow. You just stay there. Your family will be like, what happened? Take a moment, find yourself in a place where you can be still. Close your eyes, drop your jaw. Don't jump ahead yet to your week. I invite you instead to just use this little few seconds of time to fill yourself up with gratitude for what you've already had, what you already are. To thank your miraculous body. Forgive your body. Promise to continue to try to nurture your physical and your spiritual self. Take a big stretch, fingers to toes, no matter which position you're in. Maybe you can circle out your wrists, circle out your ankles. And then slowly we'll make our way so that we all are seated at the top of our mat. Bring your hands together to heart center. We're closing our weekend, closing our class. Thank you for sharing this opportunity to get a little juicy tonight. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.